Jenny watched Park Jae-hyun take a bullet meant for her, watched him collapse, watched the light leave his eyes as blood pooled beneath them both. That was 4 months ago. 4 months of impossible questions with no answers. How do you carry a baby while the father lies in a coma? How do you explain to your unborn child that their father might never wake up? How do you become a mother when you're barely surviving each day? Jiwoo's hatred stung her every time they passed in hospital corridors. 4 months of a detective digging into warehouse massacres and asking questions that could destroy everything. The constant reminder from Jae-hyun's underboss saying the organization was falling apart without its head and looking at her like she was supposed to fix it. She was just a financial analyst, a foreigner who'd fallen in love with the wrong man, someone who analyzed numbers, not gave orders that ended lives. But 4 months changes people. 4 months of making impossible choices, of stepping into roles she never wanted, of looking in the mirror and seeing a stranger staring back. 4 months of becoming someone she swore she'd never be. And the terrifying part? She was good at it. Welcome to Afro-Korean Love Stories. Tales of Jenny's love life. Everything is crumbling. Her boyfriend on the brink of death, the law on her neck, and a new life forming inside her. I wonder how she plans to handle all of this. Stick around to find out more. Also, let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. I'm curious to know. Now, let's dive into it. The night of the shooting, Seoul's media went wild. Triad violence erupts at Pier 7. Multiple dead, one critical. The news played on every channel. Footage of the warehouse. Police tape. Body bags. Speculation about gang warfare and organized crime. Haewon saw it from her mother's hospital room across the city. Her hands went numb because she knew. Somehow, she just knew Jenny was involved. She grabbed her phone. Called. It rang 4 times before Jenny answered. Voice wrecked. Haewon. Oh my God. The news. The shooting at the pier. Tell me you're not. Tell me that's not. I'm at Seoul National Hospital. ICU. Jenny's voice cracked completely. He's in surgery. They don't know if he'll make it. I'm coming. Don't move. I'm coming right now. Haewon grabbed her things, told her sleeping mother she'd be back, and ran. She found Jenny in the ICU waiting room at 3 a.m., alone, covered in dried blood that wasn't hers, staring at nothing with eyes that had seen too much. Jenny. Haewon pulled her into a fierce hug. What happened? And Jenny broke. Told her everything. The kidnapping. The rescue. The man who was supposed to be dead. The gunshot. Jae-hyun pushing her out of the way. His blood everywhere. The ambulance ride where his heart stopped twice. They got it beating again, Jenny whispered. But he's in a coma. They don't know when or if he'll wake up. Oh God. Jenny, I'm so sorry. They sat together in the sterile waiting room. Haewon holding Jenny while she shook. Neither of them knowing what to say. Jenny couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Could only stare as the truth crashed over her. Pregnant. She was pregnant with Jae-hyun's baby while he lay in a coma fighting for his life. I need to see him, she managed. Of course. The doctor nodded. Led her through sterile hallways to ICU. To the room where Jae-hyun lay unconscious. Tubes everywhere. Machines beeping steady reassurance that his heart still beat. Jenny took the chair beside his bed, took his hand, and told him the news he couldn't hear. I'm pregnant, she whispered. We're going to have a baby. So you need to wake up. You hear me? You need to come back. His hand stayed limp in hers. His eyes stayed closed. Haewon stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face. That's when the shouting started. Voices in the hallway. Korean. Angry. Getting closer. Where is she? Where's the woman who got my brother shot? Jiwoo. She burst into the room like a storm, eyes wild with grief and rage. Saw Jenny sitting by Jae-hyun's bed and something in her snapped. You. The word came out venomous. This is your fault. He's dying because of you. Jiwoo, please. Don't. Don't you dare speak to me. Jiwoo's voice rose to a scream. He was fine before you. Safe. And now he's... She looked at her brother. At the machines breathing for him. Her voice broke completely. Now he might die. Because he chose you. Because he made you more important than his own safety. Nurses rushed in. Tried to calm her. Mississippi Park, you need to lower your voice. This is ICU. I don't care. She needs to leave. Get her away from my brother. Jiwoo. Jenny stood, hands shaking. I know you're angry. I know you blame me. But I love him. And I'm not leaving. Love. Jiwoo laughed bitterly. You don't know what love is. Love is what I have for my brother. What our family has built over generations. You're just a foreigner who walked into his life and destroyed everything. That's enough. Haewon stepped between them. You want to blame someone? Blame the people who shot him. Blame your enemies. But Jenny was kidnapped. Used as bait. She didn't ask for any of this. She's weak. She made him weak. Jiwoo's eyes were cold. And now he's paying the price. A doctor entered, authority in his voice. Miss Park, I understand you're upset. But this is a hospital. Your brother needs rest. If you can't control yourself, I'll have to ask you to leave. This is my family's hospital, Jiwoo said flatly. You work for us. Don't forget that. The doctor's expression tightened, but he said nothing. Because she was right. The hospital was owned by the Park Syndicate. Everyone here was on their payroll. Jiwoo looked at Jenny one last time. Stay away from him. You've done enough damage. Then she left, and the ICU felt colder in her absence. Jenny sank back into her chair, shaking violently. She's grieving, Haewon said softly. She doesn't mean it. Yes, she does. Jenny's hand moved to her stomach, flat still, unchanged. But inside, a life was growing. She's always meant it. I was just too stupid to see. What are you going to do? I don't know. Jenny looked at Jae-hyun's unconscious face. I don't know anything anymore. Haewon stayed, called Maya and Chioma, told them what happened. Within 24 hours, all three friends had dropped everything and flown to Seoul. Maya arrived first, took one look at Jenny and started crying. Oh, honey, come here. They held each other in that hospital waiting room while machines beeped and nurses passed, and life continued around them. When Chioma arrived that evening, straight from the airport, still in her London work clothes, the four of them sat together like they always had, supporting, holding, being there. They stayed with her, took shifts sitting vigil, made sure she ate, held her when she cried at 3 a.m. For 3 days, it almost felt manageable. Like maybe she could survive this with her friends beside her. Then the detective showed up. Day 4. Morning. Jenny was alone with Jae-hyun when a man in a cheap suit entered. 40s. Tired eyes. Badge on his belt. Jennifer Lawrence? Her stomach dropped. Yes. Detective Kim Min-jae. I need to ask you some questions about the incident at Pier 7. I already gave my statement to the police. That was the initial response. I'm conducting a follow-up investigation. He pulled out a notepad. You were kidnapped, correct? Yes. By members of a rival organization. And Park Jae-hyun came to rescue you. That's right. With armed men, who killed 7 people in that warehouse. Jenny's mouth went dry. I was unconscious for most of it. I don't know what happened. Really? Because witnesses say you were awake. That you saw everything. Detective Kim's eyes were sharp. Miss Lawrence, do you know what the Park family does? The real business, not the legitimate fronts. I work in financial analysis. I handle their corporate accounts. So you're aware of the money laundering, the shell corporations, the illegal operations hiding behind legitimate business. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. He leaned forward. I think you know exactly what the Park Syndicate is. And I think you're protecting them. My boyfriend is in a coma. I'm not protecting anyone. I'm just trying to survive. Your boyfriend is a criminal, the head of one of Seoul's most dangerous organizations. And 7 men are dead because of what happened at that warehouse. Detective Kim's voice hardened. Someone needs to answer for that. If Park Jae-hyun can't because he's unconscious, then someone else will. Fear shot through her. Are you threatening me? I'm telling you the law applies to everyone, even powerful families who think they're untouchable. He stood. I'll be in touch, Miss Lawrence. Don't leave Seoul. He left. Jenny sat frozen, Detective Kim's words echoing. Someone needs to answer for that. The law applies to everyone. She needed help, needed advice, needed. The door opened. A man entered. Tall, scarred, familiar in a way that made her stomach flip. She'd seen him before, in meetings, standing behind Jae-hyun, silent, dangerous. Miss Lawrence. His voice was rough, respectful. I'm Han Suk. I serve as underboss for the organization. The underboss. Jae-hyun's second in command. What do you want? To talk. About what happens next. He glanced at Jae-hyun's unconscious form. The boss is down. The organization needs leadership. Rivals are circling. Deals are falling apart. His eyes met hers. Someone needs to step up. And Jenny realized with terrible clarity, her nightmare was just beginning. I don't handle that side of things. I do financial analysis, corporate accounts. I know what you do, Miss Lawrence. But right now, the organization needs more than spreadsheets. He glanced at Jae-hyun's unconscious form. The boss is down. Rivals know it. They're already testing our territories. 3 of our operations have been hit this week alone. Jenny's stomach twisted. So handle it. That's your job, isn't it? My job is enforcement, muscle, strategy. Han Suk's expression was carefully neutral. But the final decisions? Those came from him. And now he can't make them. Then make them yourself. It doesn't work that way. The organization has structure, hierarchy. Without the boss giving orders, everything falls apart. Men start questioning leadership. Rivals see weakness. Partners start looking for new alliances. He leaned against the wall. We need someone at the top, even temporarily. What about Jiwoo? She's family. She knows the business. Miss Park is not in a state to lead right now. Grief has made her unpredictable, dangerous. He paused. You, on the other hand, have been handling our financial operations for years. You know the structure, the money flow, the legitimate fronts. That's completely different from running a criminal organization. Is it? You've been cleaning our money, managing our accounts, making sure everything looks legal. You already know where the bodies are buried, so to speak. His eyes were sharp. And you have motivation. If the organization falls, the boss becomes vulnerable. His enemies will finish what they started. The words hit like a physical blow. Because he was right. Jae-hyun lying here defenseless, while his empire crumbled, made him a target. Made both of them targets. What exactly are you asking me to do? Step up. Temporarily. Just until he wakes up. Han Suk pulled out a folder. I'll handle operations. The street-level work. The enforcement. You handle decisions. Approvals. Strategy. Keep the organization running. I don't know how to do that. You're smarter than you think, Miss Lawrence. And you learn fast. He set the folder on the bedside table. These are deals waiting for approval. Territory disputes that need resolution. Payment schedules that need signing off. Nothing happens without the boss's approval. Or, in this case, yours. Jenny stared at the folder like it might bite her. What if I say no? Then the organization fractures. Rivals move in. The boss's life's work dissolves. And when he wakes up, if he wakes up, there's nothing left to protect either of you. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. Fine, Jenny said quietly. But this is temporary. Just until he's back. Of course. Han Suk's expression didn't change, but something shifted in his eyes. respect, maybe, or satisfaction. I'll bring the priority items tomorrow. For now, rest. You'll need your strength. After he left, Jenny opened the folder with shaking hands. Inside were documents, reports, photos of men she didn't recognize, requests for approval written in Korean she had to translate on her phone. One caught her attention: a dispute over territory in Gangnam. A rival group had moved into one of their areas. The request was simple: permission to resolve through standard means. Standard means. She knew what that meant. Violence. Possibly death. Her finger hovered over the approval line. This was insane. She couldn't just sign off on violence, on people getting hurt. She was a financial analyst, not a mob boss. But Han Suk's words echoed. If the organization falls, the boss becomes vulnerable. Jenny looked at Jae-hyun, at the machines breathing for him, at the man she loved lying helpless while his world threatened to collapse. She signed the approval, hated herself for it, but signed it anyway. The next day, Han Suk returned, took the folder, nodded once. It's handled. Jenny didn't ask what handled meant. Didn't want to know. That was her first decision. Her first line crossed. It wouldn't be her last. Over the next week, more requests came. More approvals needed. Territory disputes. Payment schedules. Deals with suppliers she didn't want to think too hard about. Each time, Jenny told herself it was temporary. Just until Jae-hyun woke up. Just to keep things stable. Each time, it got a little easier to sign. A little easier to approve violence she'd never see. A little easier to become someone she didn't recognize. Her friends noticed. Maya, Chioma, and Haewon had been staying in Seoul for a week now, rotating shifts at the hospital, making sure Jenny ate, reminding her to take prenatal vitamins she'd hidden from everyone except Haewon. But they noticed the change. The way Jenny's phone never stopped ringing. The way Han Suk came daily with folders she'd disappear to handle. The way her eyes had gone cold and distant. Jenny, Maya said carefully one evening. What's going on? Who's that man who keeps coming? Business. Just handling some things for Jae-hyun. What kind of business? The kind I can't talk about. Maya and Chioma exchanged worried glances. Sweetie, Chioma said gently, you're scaring us. You're not yourself. You barely eat. You barely sleep. And you're making phone calls in languages we don't understand about things that sound dangerous? Jenny finished. Welcome to Jae-hyun's world. This is what I signed up for. No, Haewon said firmly. You signed up to love him, not to become him. The words stung because they were true. I don't have a choice, Jenny said quietly. If I don't hold things together, everything he built falls apart. And his enemies will come for him. For us. She touched her stomach without thinking. Still flat. Still secret except for Haewon. Chioma caught the gesture. Her lawyer brain kicked in immediately. Jenny, are you pregnant? 6 weeks. The secret spilled out. The doctor told me the night of the shooting. I haven't told anyone except Haewon. Silence crashed over them. Then Maya. Oh my God. Does he know? Chioma asked. He's in a coma. So no. Jenny's voice cracked. I tell him every day. Hope somehow he can hear me. But she couldn't finish. Couldn't voice the fear that he'd never wake up. That she'd raise this baby alone. That their child would never know their father. Her friends surrounded her. Held her while she cried. We're here, Maya whispered. Whatever you need. We're here. But even as they said it, Jenny could feel the distance growing. Could feel herself becoming someone they didn't recognize. Someone she didn't recognize. And the worst part, she was starting to like the power. Starting to like the way men listened when she spoke. The way problems disappeared with a signature. The way fear and respect looked remarkably similar. She was becoming the monster Jae-hyun had tried to protect her from. And she couldn't stop. Didn't want to stop. Because stopping meant losing him. And Jenny would burn the world down before she let that happen. even if it meant burning herself in the process. If you were Jenny, would losing the baby be your breaking point? The moment you walk away from everything and choose yourself? Or would pushing away your support system for calling you out on irreversible changes your decisions are causing you? Or would you keep going for love rather than think of where it all went wrong and blaming Jiwoo for not stepping up sooner? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I hope you're enjoying the story so far, cause what happens down the line would definitely leave you in TE.
Ours. Day 10.
That's when Detective Kim showed up again. Jenny was in Jae-hyun's office. She'd stopped thinking of it as his and started thinking of it as hers, which should have terrified her but didn't anymore. When Han-suk knocked. Detective downstairs. Wants to speak with you. Tell him I'm busy. He says it's about the warehouse incident. Says he'll come back with a warrant if you don't talk to him now. Jenny's hand moved instinctively to her stomach. 13 weeks now. Still hiding it under loose clothing.
Still a secret. Fine.
Send him up. Detective Kim entered like he owned the place. Looked around the office with barely concealed disgust. Miss Lawrence. Nice office. Moving up in the world, I see. What do you want, detective? Answers. About what happened at Pier 7. He pulled out a notepad. 7 men dead. Your boyfriend in a coma. And somehow no one saw anything. No one knows anything. I was unconscious for most of it. I already told you that.
Right.
Unconscious. He didn't believe her. Funny thing. We found security footage from a nearby building. Shows Park Jae-hyun arriving with at least 15 armed men. Shows a firefight. Shows bodies being dragged out. Jenny's heart rate spiked, but she kept her face neutral. I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to say the truth. That Park Jae-hyun runs a criminal organization. That those men died in a gang war. That someone needs to answer for it. My boyfriend is fighting for his life in a hospital bed. Whatever happened that night, he can't answer for it right now.
No.
But you can. Detective Kim leaned forward. You work here. Handle the finances. You know where the bodies are buried. Figuratively and literally. I analyze corporate accounts. That's all. Really? Because I've been digging into your employment records. You've been moving money through shell corporations. Cleaning cash. Making illegal operations look legitimate. His eyes were sharp. You're complicit, Miss Lawrence. And when I build my case, you'll go down with the rest of them. Are you charging me with something? Because if not, this conversation is over. Not yet. But I will be. Count on it. He stood. You seem like a smart woman. Smart enough to know when you're in over your head. There's still time to cooperate. To save yourself. Get out. Think about it. When Park wakes up, if he wakes up, he's going to prison. And you'll go with him unless you make a deal. He placed a card on her desk. My number. When you're ready to talk, call me. After he left, Jenny sat in the silence, heart pounding. This was bad. The detective had evidence. Had footage. Was building a case that could destroy everything. She needed help. Needed someone who understood the legal system. Someone who could. Her phone buzzed. Han-suk. Rival syndicate hit another operation. 2 of our men in the hospital. They want a response. Another decision. Another line to cross. Jenny typed back. Handle it. Whatever it takes. She used to agonize over these decisions. Used to lose sleep. Now they came automatically. Coldly. Efficiently. She was changing. And she couldn't stop it. That evening, her friends confronted her. They'd been in Seoul for 2 weeks now, watching her transformation with increasing alarm. Finally, they'd had enough. We need to talk, Maya said. No preamble. Just direct. They were in the hospital cafeteria. Neutral ground. Away from Jae-hyun's room and the constant beeping of machines.
About what?
About you. Chioma's lawyer voice came out. About what you're becoming. I'm handling things. That's all. You're running a criminal organization, Maya said bluntly. Don't pretend you're not. We see the men coming and going. The phone calls. The way you give orders like you've been doing it your whole life. Someone has to. Why you? Haewon asked gently. Why does it have to be you? Because Jiwoo won't. Because if I don't, everything falls apart. Because Jenny's voice cracked. Because I can't let his enemies finish what they started. I can't let him die because his organization collapsed while he was unconscious. So, you're sacrificing yourself instead? Chioma leaned forward. Jenny, look at yourself. Really look. You're not eating. You're barely sleeping. You're pregnant and under incredible stress. And you're making decisions that could land you in prison. I know what I'm doing.
Do you?
Because from where we're sitting, you're self-destructing. You're becoming exactly what he tried to protect you from. Maybe that's what it takes to protect him. Silence fell heavy between them. Finally, Maya spoke, voice thick with emotion. We can't watch this anymore. Can't watch you destroy yourself. Then don't watch. Go home. The words came out harsher than intended, colder. Her friends flinched. We're worried about you. Haewon said, tears in her eyes. We love you, but you're pushing us away, becoming someone we don't recognize. Good, because the person you knew couldn't survive this world, couldn't do what needs to be done. Jenny stood. I appreciate you coming, but I don't need protection. I don't need saving. I need you to trust that I know what I'm doing. We can't. Chioma's voice was firm. We can't stand by and watch you become a criminal. Watch you risk everything, including that baby, for an empire that's not even yours. It is mine. It became mine the moment he took that bullet. Listen to yourself. Maya's voice rose. You sound like them, like the people who kidnapped you, like the world that almost killed you both. Maybe that's what it takes to survive in it. They stared at each other across an impossible distance. We're leaving, Chioma said finally, going back to our lives. But Jenny, if you need us, really need us, call. We'll come, but we can't stay and watch this. I understand. Do you? Do you understand that we're terrified for you? That we see you losing yourself and we're powerless to stop it? I'm not lost. I'm exactly where I need to be. Haewon stood, hugged her tight. I love you, but I can't watch you do this to yourself anymore. Maya and Chioma hugged her too, all of them crying now. Then they left, and Jenny stood alone in the cafeteria, watching her friends walk away, feeling nothing. The numbness should have scared her. Instead, it felt like armor. 3 days later, Jiwoo finally broke her silence. She appeared in Jaehyun's office, Jenny's office, without warning. Walked in like she owned the place. We need to talk, Jiwoo said.
About what?
About the detective asking questions. About rivals pushing into our territory. About the fact that you've been running my brother's organization for 2 weeks, and I've been too grief-stricken to care. Jenny met her gaze steadily. And now I'm paying attention. Jiwoo sat down uninvited. I've been watching, listening, hearing reports about how you've been handling things. Here to tell me I'm doing it wrong? Here to tell you you're doing it better than I expected. Jiwoo's expression was unreadable. The territorial disputes you resolved. The deals you closed. The way you handled the supplier issue last week. It's competent. Coming from Jiwoo, it was practically a compliment. Thank you. Don't thank me. I still blame you for the bullet in my brother's chest.
But she paused.
But I'm not blind. The organization needs leadership. And right now you're providing it. So, what do you want?
To help.
The detective is a problem. A serious one. He's been talking to people, offering deals, building a case. Jiwoo pulled out a folder. I have connections in the police department. Sources who keep me informed. Detective Kim is obsessed. He thinks bringing down the Park family will make his career. Can you stop him? Maybe. But not alone. We need to work together. You handle the business operations. I'll handle the legal threats and political connections. Her eyes were hard. For my brother's sake, not yours. I don't care why you're helping as long as you help. Good. Because if we don't stop this detective, everything my family built over 3 generations disappears. And my brother wakes up to nothing. They looked at each other across the desk. Former enemies. Fragile allies. Okay, Jenny said. Let's protect what's his. What's ours? Ji Woo corrected. Like it or not, you're family now. Temporary or not, you're running this organization. That makes you one of us. The words should have filled Jenny with dread. Instead, they felt like acceptance she'd been craving. And that terrified her more than anything. Week 16. For months, Jenny stood in front of a mirror in Jaehyun's penthouse, their penthouse. She'd started thinking and studied her reflection. The pregnancy was showing now. A small curve beneath her loose clothing. A secret she'd hidden from everyone except her friends, the doctors, and Haewon. She pressed her hand to her stomach, felt the slight swell. Hi, baby, she whispered. Your dad's still sleeping, but he's going to wake up soon. I know he is. And when he does, we'll tell him about you. He's going to be so... Her phone rang. Han Suk. She answered. What? The detective made a move. Showed up at one of our legitimate businesses with a warrant. Started questioning employees. Did he find anything?
No.
Your financial systems are clean, but he's getting aggressive. Desperate. A pause. Mississippi Park wants to meet. Says she has a solution. When? Tonight. Her office. 9 p.m. Jenny glanced at the clock. 7 now.
She had time.
I'll be there. After hanging up, she changed into professional clothes. Black slacks. Blazer that hid the small bump. Applied makeup that concealed the exhaustion she couldn't shake. Looked in the mirror one more time. Barely recognized the woman staring back. For months ago, she'd been someone who analyzed spreadsheets and dreamed of simple love. Now she was someone who gave orders that ended lives, who approved bribes and covered up violence, who ran a criminal organization while carrying a secret.
Her phone buzzed again.
A message from Haewon. How are you feeling? Have you been eating? Remember to take your vitamins. Jenny smiled despite everything. Haewon was the only one who still checked on her. The only one who hadn't given up. I'm fine. Meeting tonight, but I'll eat after. Promise. Be safe. Love you. Love you too. The meeting with Ji Woo went longer than expected. They discussed the detective, the evidence he was gathering, the employees he'd questioned. Ji Woo had sources in the department who said Detective Kim was close to building a case. We need to handle this permanently, Ji Woo said. Make him back off or make him disappear. We're not killing a detective. I didn't say kill. I said handle. Ji Woo's expression was cold. There are other ways.
Bribes.
Blackmail. Pressure from his superiors. The police chief is already on our payroll. Then we use that. Have the chief shut down the investigation. Transfer the detective. Make this problem go away. They strategized for hours. Went through options. Made plans. By the time Jenny left Ji Woo's office, it was past midnight. She was exhausted. Hungry. The baby had been making her nauseous all day, and she barely kept anything down. The drive back to the penthouse felt endless. Halfway there, the cramping started.
Low. Sharp. Wrong.
Jenny's hand went to her stomach.
No.
No, please. The pain intensified, radiating through her abdomen, making her gasp. She pulled over, fumbled for her phone, called Han Suk. I need a car.
Now.
Something's wrong. Where are you? She gave him the location. He was there in minutes. One look at her face, and he understood. Hospital. Now. The emergency room was chaos.
Doctors.
Nurses. Questions she could barely answer through the pain. They took her back immediately. Ran tests. Did an ultrasound. The doctor's face told her everything before the words came. Miss Lawrence, I'm so sorry. There's no heartbeat. You're experiencing a miscarriage. The world stopped.
No.
That's not check again. Please check again. I'm sorry. Sometimes these things happen, especially with high stress levels. There's nothing. Check again. But they did. And the result was the same. No heartbeat. No baby. Just loss. They kept her overnight. Monitored the miscarriage. Made sure there were no complications. Jenny lay in the hospital bed. Not Jaehyun's hospital. A different one. Because she couldn't bear to be in the same building where he lay unconscious and felt nothing. The numbness that had become armor now felt like drowning. She'd lost the baby. Lost the one piece of Jaehyun she could have kept if he never woke up. Lost the future they'd never planned, but she'd started imagining anyway. And it was her fault. The stress. The decisions. The violence she'd approved. The darkness she'd embraced. She'd killed their baby by becoming the monster. Han Suk came, stood awkwardly in the doorway like he didn't know what to say. I'm sorry for your loss. Don't. Her voice was flat, empty. Just don't. Do you want me to call someone? Your friends. They left. Went back to their lives because they couldn't watch me self-destruct. Jenny laughed bitterly. Turns out they were right. Miss Lawrence. I need you to do something for me. Anything. The detective. Jiwoo's plan to shut down the investigation. She met his eyes. Make it happen. I don't care what it takes. Bribe the chief. Blackmail the detective. Whatever works. Just end it. Are you sure? I'm sure. Because I'm done losing things. Done letting people take from me. Her voice went cold. Hard. The detective wants to destroy what's left? Fine. We destroy him first. Han Suk nodded slowly. I'll handle it. After he left, Jenny was alone with the silence and the loss. She thought about calling Haewon, about telling her what happened, about accepting comfort. But Haewon would try to save her, would try to pull her back from the edge. And Jenny was done being saved. She'd lost the baby, lost her friends, lost herself. All she had left was the empire she'd built in Jaehyun's absence, the power she'd accumulated, the fear and respect that came with her name. It would have to be enough. 2 days later, they released her from the hospital. Jenny went straight to Jaehyun's room, sat in her usual chair, took his limp hand. I lost the baby, she told his unconscious face. I lost our baby because I was too busy becoming you, too busy protecting your empire to protect the life we made together. Tears finally came, the numbness cracking just enough to feel. I don't know who I am anymore. Don't know if there's anything left worth saving. But I'm still here, still fighting, still waiting for you to wake up and tell me it wasn't all for nothing. His hand stayed limp. His eyes stayed closed. Jenny wiped her tears. Put the armor back on. I'm going to finish what I started. Going to protect what's yours until you wake up. And when you do, her voice broke. When you do, you can decide if the monster I became was worth it. She stood, straightened her blazer, became the woman who ran a criminal organization again. The woman who'd lost everything but refused to break. The next week blurred together. Jiwoo's plan worked. The police chief transferred Detective Kim to a different department, buried his investigation under bureaucracy and politics. The threat disappeared like it had never existed. Jenny approved more deals, made more decisions, consolidated more power. And every night, she sat by Jaehyun's bed and wondered when she'd lost her soul. Week 17. Jiwoo came to the office with news. The detective situation is handled. He's been reassigned. The investigation is dead. Good. And I've been watching you. How you've run things these past weeks. Jiwoo's expression was carefully neutral. You're better at this than I expected. Better than most men who've tried. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. You've protected my brother's empire when it should have fallen apart. That means something. She paused. I was wrong about you. You're not weak. You're not a liability. You're a monster. I know. I was going to say family, but monster works too. Jiwoo almost smiled. Welcome to the Park family, Jennifer Lawrence. For better or worse, you're one of us now. The acceptance Jenny had craved for months felt hollow now, but she nodded anyway. For better or worse. After Jiwoo left, Jenny sat in the office that had become hers, looked at the empire she'd inherited, the power she'd accumulated, the respect she'd earned through fear and blood, and wondered what it had cost her. Everything, probably. But she'd do it again, would make the same choices, would become the same monster. Because protecting Jaehyun, keeping him safe until he woke up, was worth any price. Even her soul, even their child, even herself. Month 4 ended. Month 5 began. The weight of Jaehyun's world pressed down on Jenny's shoulders like physical force. Every decision, every approval, every compromise of her soul. She gathered her things from the office, his office, her office, their office, she didn't even know anymore, and drove straight to the hospital. This had become her routine. End the day by telling unconscious Jaehyun everything he'd missed, everything she'd done in his name, everything she'd become. Tonight felt heavier than usual, maybe because of the miscarriage still raw in her chest. Maybe because Jiwoo's acceptance felt like the final nail in the coffin of who she used to be. Maybe because she was so tired of carrying this alone. She entered his room. The familiar beeping of machines. The sterile smell. The man she loved lying still as death, but technically alive. Jenny took her usual chair. Took his hand. "Hey," she said softly. "It's me again. I know you're tired of hearing my voice by now, but..." Her voice cracked. "But I need you to wake up. Please. I can't do this much longer. Can't be this person much longer." She told him about the detective, about Jiwoo's plan, about how the investigation was dead and buried. "We won," she whispered. "We protected everything you built. But I don't feel like I won. I feel like I lost everything that mattered." The machines beeped their steady rhythm. "I lost the baby." Saying it out loud still hurt. "Lost our baby because I was too busy becoming you to take care of myself. Too busy playing mob boss to protect the life we made."
Tears fell.
She didn't bother wiping them away. "And my friends are gone. They left because they couldn't recognize me anymore. Because I pushed them away. Because..." The monitor's beep changed. Just slightly. A variation in the rhythm. Jenny's head snapped up. Then she saw it. His eyelid.
A twitch.
Barely there, but definitely movement. Her breath caught. Jaehyun. His finger moved. Just a fraction. But it moved against her palm. Oh my God. She lunged for the emergency button. Pressed it frantically. "Nurse. I need a nurse." Then she ran. Out of the room. Down the hallway. Searching desperately. "Where's the doctor?" She shouted at the top of her voice. "Where is he? I think something's happening." He moved. A nurse appeared. "Miss Lawrence, calm down."
No.
"You don't understand." He moved. His finger moved. "Get the doctor."
Now.
The nurse's eyes widened. She grabbed a phone. Made a call. Jenny didn't wait. Ran back toward Jaehyun's room, the doctor following close behind. But when she turned the corner, she stopped. A couple of nurses had arrived before her. They were standing at the door, blocking her view, their faces unreadable. Jenny's heart raced. She could only imagine the worst, that the movement had been nothing, a muscle spasm, false hope, or worse, that something had gone wrong, that the brief signs of life were actually signs of. She pushed past them, and that was when she saw it. OMG, what do you think is going to happen, besties? First was losing the baby, then her support system, then herself, and now there's a possibility she might lose him too. I wonder why she didn't walk away sooner and avoid all this. Can her heart really take another loss? Stay with me. Let's see what happens next. If you're enjoying this amazing series on Jenny's love life, please drop a heart in the comment. I read all your comments and I appreciate the love. Let's get back into the
story.
Park Jae-hyun's eyes were open. Not fully. not alert, but open, staring at the ceiling with unfocused confusion.
Alive. Awake.
Back. Oh my God. Jenny's legs nearly gave out. Oh my God, he's awake. The doctor rushed past her, started checking vitals, shining lights in Jae-hyun's eyes, asking questions in Korean that got no response. Mr. Park, can you hear me? Squeeze my hand if you can hear me. Nothing. Just those unfocused eyes staring at nothing. It's normal, the doctor said, noticing Jenny's panic. He's been in a coma for 4 months. It'll take time for him to fully regain consciousness. This is a good sign. A very good sign. Jenny moved closer, took Jae-hyun's hand carefully. Jae-hyun? It's me. It's Jenny. Can you hear me? His eyes shifted.
Slowly.
So slowly, until they found her face. Recognition flickered. Faint but there. His lips moved. No sound came out, but she read the shape. Jenny. Tears streamed down her face.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm here. I've been here the whole time. His hand squeezed hers.
Weak.
Trembling, but deliberate.
He was really awake.
The next hours were chaos. More doctors, more tests, evaluating brain function, motor skills, memory. Jiwoo arrived within the hour, face streaked with tears, speaking rapid Korean to her brother, who could only manage weak nods. Jenny stood back, watched the reunion, felt like an outsider in a moment that should have included her. But she'd waited 4 months for this. Could wait a few more hours. Finally, the doctors cleared the room. Said he needed rest, that they'd continue evaluations tomorrow. Jiwoo touched Jenny's arm as she left. Thank you for everything you did while he was gone, for protecting what's ours.
Ours.
Not his.
Ours.
The acceptance still felt surreal. When everyone left, Jenny returned to Jae-hyun's room. He was awake, eyes clear now, watching her approach. Hey, she said softly, taking her usual chair. Welcome back. His voice was rough and used. How long? 4 months. You've been out for 4 months.
She watched him process that.
Saw the confusion, the fear. What happened? You got shot. Saving me. The bullet collapsed your lung, and you fell into a coma. She squeezed his hand. But you're awake now. That's what matters. For months. He looked at her. Really looked. You look different. Jenny's chest tightened. Of course, she looked different. 4 months of running his empire. Of making impossible choices. Of becoming someone unrecognizable. A lot has happened, she said carefully. The organization? Still running. Still intact.
How?
His eyes were sharp despite the exhaustion. Who's been?
He stopped.
Understanding dawning. You, he said. Not a question. A realization. Jenny nodded. I didn't have a choice. Han Suk came to me. Said things were falling apart. Said someone needed to step up. So you did. So I did. She met his gaze steadily. I handled the business. Made decisions. Kept everything together while you were gone. What kind of decisions? The question hung heavy between them. The kind you would have made, Jenny said quietly. The kind that kept your empire alive. The kind that, her voice cracked. The kind that turned me into someone you won't recognize. Jae-hyun's expression was unreadable. Tell me. So she did. Told him about the territorial disputes she'd resolved. The deals she'd approved. The violence she'd sanctioned without ever getting her own hands dirty. The detective she'd helped bury through bribes and political pressure. Told him about Jiwoo. How they'd gone from enemies to fragile allies. How his sister had finally accepted her as family. Told him about her friends. How they'd come to support her and left because they couldn't watch her self-destruct. And finally, voice breaking completely, told him about the baby. I was pregnant. Found out the night you were shot. 6 weeks. Tears streamed down her face. I was going to tell you when you woke up. Was going to surprise you. But she couldn't continue. Couldn't say the words. What happened? His voice was gentle, careful. Miscarriage. For months in. The stress. The pressure. Everything I was doing. She wiped her eyes. I lost our baby because I was too busy becoming you to protect what we'd made together. Silence filled the room. Then Jae-hyun squeezed her hand. Come here. Jenny moved closer. He pulled her down carefully, wrapped his arms around her despite the tubes and wires. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry you had to carry all of that alone. I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. You could have walked away. Could have let it all burn. Could have chosen yourself instead of my empire. And let your enemies finish what they started? Let everything you built collapse? She pulled back to look at him. I couldn't do that. So, you sacrificed yourself instead. His hand cupped her face. Became the monster I tried to protect you from. I became what I needed to be to survive. To keep you safe. And it cost you everything. Our child. Your friends. Yourself. His eyes were filled with pain. Jenny, I never wanted this for you. Never wanted you to become this.
I know, but I did it anyway.
And I'd do it again. She met his gaze steadily. Because loving you means protecting you. Even when you can't protect yourself. Even when it destroys me. You shouldn't have had to. But I did. And now I'm here. Changed. Harder. Colder. Someone you probably won't recognize anymore. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Can you still love me? Knowing what I've become. Jae-hyun pulled her close again. I loved you when you were the brilliant analyst who refused to be intimidated. I loved you when you survived my world and stayed anyway. I love you now, even changed, especially changed, because you became this to protect what's mine, to protect me. I lost our baby. I know, and we'll grieve that together. But Jenny, he tilted her face up. You're alive. I'm alive.
We survived.
That has to count for something. Does it? When I don't even recognize myself anymore? Then we figure out who you are now. Together. He kissed her forehead. But first I need to know something. Are you done? With the organization? With running things? Can you walk away?
Jenny thought about it.
Really thought. About the power she'd accumulated. The respect she'd earned. The fear that came with her name now. About the decisions that still needed making. The empire that still needed protecting. About the woman she'd been 4 months ago versus who she was now. I don't know, she admitted. I don't know if I can just turn it off. Don't know if there's anything left of the person I used to be. Then we'll find out. One day at a time. Jae-hyun's grip tightened. But Jenny, I need you to promise me something. What? That you'll let me carry this now. Let me take back the burden you've been carrying alone. Let me protect you the way you've been protecting me. What if I don't want to be protected anymore? What if I like the power? Then we navigate that together too. But I'm awake now. You don't have to do this alone anymore. Jenny collapsed against him. Let herself break in his arms for the first time in 4 months. Let the armor crack and the tears fall and the grief pour out. For the baby they'd lost. For the woman she used to be. For the innocence that was gone forever. Jae-hyun held her through it all. Whispered promises in Korean she couldn't translate but understood anyway. They'd survive this. Together. Eventually, exhaustion pulled at him. His eyes drooped. Sleep, Jenny said. You need to rest. Don't leave. I won't. I'll be right here when you wake up. Like I have been every day for 4 months. He drifted off. Hand still holding hers. Jenny sat in the chair she'd occupied for 120 days. Watching the man she loved breathe on his own. Watching his chest rise and fall without machines forcing it. He was awake. He was back. And she had no idea what came next. The empire still needed running. Rivals still circled. The world she'd inherited didn't disappear just because he'd woken up. But for tonight, she let herself feel relief. Jae-hyun was alive. They'd survived. And maybe, just maybe, There was still something worth saving in the ruins of who they used to be. Her phone buzzed. A message from Jiwoo. He's awake. Everything changes now. We need to talk tomorrow about transition plans. Transition.
Right.
Because Jenny couldn't just step back. Couldn't just return to being the woman who analyzed spreadsheets. She'd taken power. Had proven she could wield it. And the organization wouldn't let go easily. Neither would she if she was being honest. Jenny looked at Jae-hyun's sleeping face. At the man she'd become a monster to protect. What have we become? She whispered. No answer came. Just the steady beeping of monitors and the sound of his breathing. Tomorrow would bring decisions. Consequences. The future they'd have to navigate together. But tonight, she just held his hand. And tried to remember if the woman who'd fallen in love 4 months ago still existed somewhere inside this person she'd become. She honestly didn't know. And that terrified her more than anything. 4 months ago, she was a financial analyst in love with her boss. Now she's a mob boss who ordered violence without blinking. Can their relationship survive her transformation? Or is the woman he fell in love with gone forever? Tell me what you think happens to them. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss out on new drops. Is this the end? Stick around and find out.